Frequent flyer flies, la 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 la. Frequent flyer is back.
What's up? You checking out the Frequent Flyer? Welcome back to the channel. Smash the like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to extend a warm welcome. So today we're going to have a look at this walking dinosaur here. This is the Adventure Force Raptor Runner, a radio controlled dinosaur. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I had another walking dinosaur on the channel before, and this thing here is a clone of that dinosaur, a cheaper clone, because this thing only cost me 20 bucks at Walmart, $19.99, whereas the other dinosaur that I had on the channel, it actually cost upwards of 50 bucks. And so, is it worth it? Does this thing beat out the other dinosaur? Well, there's a little difference in this one and the other one. The way that it turns. I actually have the other dinosaur here. Let me slide this guy over a little to the side so we can see this other dinosaur that I was talking about. They're about the same size. Check them out. These little dinosaurs are on Amazon. This one looks more like a raptor or whatnot. The other one, I don't know what kind of dinosaur that was. It's not an exact replica of the other one. This one does have some changes. You can see the black button up here. The other one had a button up here too, which was a demo button. This button, when you press this button, it just makes the dinosaur roar. Let's do it. So it doesn't start to do a demo or anything. The previous versions that I had, when you press that button there, it'll roar, but it'll also do a demo. It'll start walking forward and turning and stuff like that. And so the other difference with this guy is that the arms are kind of on a swivel, I want to say. The arms move. And so the way that this guy turns, when you hit the turn button on the controller, the arms just shift. The arms will turn left or right. And the head actually turns too, like this. So the head actually swivels. On the previous ones, the heads don't turn. And so that's the difference with this one. The other ones, it had like a little hinge in the middle of the body, and the body kind of shifted back and forth to allow for it to turn. But this little guy, he turns a different way, and it's not as stable because this guy falls over a lot more than the other one falls over. I was thinking it was because of the way that the arms shift, but now I'm convinced that it's a combination of the way that the arms shift and how wide the arms are, because these little wheels under the bottom here, they kind of support the dinosaur in his walking position like that. So these wheels are always touching the ground. And also the previous versions, this wheel here was rubber, but this one is just plastic. Got to cut corners somewhere, I guess. And the arms being not as wide, it allows for this guy to flip over sometimes when it's walking. And it seems to only flip over when it's walking forward. So I was having troubles with this guy walking forward and turning. When you turn, it's definitely going to fall. And when you're walking forward, sometimes this guy even falls. So not as stable. The tail comes detached, so you have to attach the tail, just like the previous ones. But the tail is more stiff. The tail doesn't really move around. On the other versions, let me bring one out again. On the other versions, the tail sort of wiggles around as he runs. Kind of an added effect. So the tail is loose on the other ones and wiggles around and makes it look more lifelike when you're running. So you lose that detail with this guy. And yeah, so the tail just sticks straight up in the air. And so that's one thing that I didn't like. You don't see the tail wagging anymore. And this thing just flips over a lot. And so if you don't mind this guy flipping over a lot, then I guess, well, a small kid is probably not really going to notice, especially if they haven't witnessed or played with the other one, the more expensive one. But I guess this is a cheaper alternative that you might want to go for a little kid. But just keep in mind that this guy falls over a lot. And the transmitter is pretty much the same as the other one. Not exactly the same. It's a little larger. But you still have these dinosaur skeletons that you have to press in order to get it to do moves. This one, the older one, is more like a Robo Dino, but on here it's more bones and whatnot. I think the other one that I had was more like this one. And so you go right and left with these feet here. This is what makes it turn, these buttons here. You have an on and off switch here. And then the jaw makes it, the lower jaw makes it go backwards. And then the top of the head or mouth makes it go forward. So no extra buttons other than that. And it takes 2 AA batteries in the rear. You have a switch here to unlock it and lock it, so no annoying screw in the back or anything. The older ones did have a screw that goes in to keep the battery cover on, so I like that about this guy, that it has that little latch there. No fooling around with any screws or anything. But it does still have, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a USB right here. It's not Type-C. It's the older micro USB port, just like the older ones. And that's about it. This guy charges up. Not sure how long this guy runs. I haven't ran it till the battery dies yet. I run it around. These batteries last pretty long, pretty good. My son loves this thing. He loves dinosaurs. Both of my smaller kids, they love dinosaurs. So they were going crazy over this guy. They love it. Even though it falls over, they don't care. They still enjoy this guy. And so he's going to them. And I'm going to keep the more expensive one that doesn't fall over. The third one, the first one that I had, they actually broke it because they tend to ride on it, or, you know, ride on it too heavy with their hands or whatever, or try to play with it when it's moving. If you do that with these dinosaurs, they will break. So keep that in mind as well. You can't rough them up or throw them around or anything. They're going to break. They're kind of delicate in that aspect. The motors, the feet turn, and that the feet turn or whatever for it to walk forward, and you can easily damage that. And that's what happened to my other one, from weight being applied to the back while it's trying to walk. You can break the little gears in there and it won't walk the same anymore. And so keep that in mind as well. You want to maybe monitor them when they're walking with it or whatnot, or not walking with it, but when they're somebody's operating it and you have another kid grabbing on it and stuff like that. You got to be careful of that because it will break the gears inside. Other than that, I think it's a pretty cheap alternative that you can get for a smaller kid. I know a lot of us older guys like to get things like this, remote control dinosaurs and robots and things like that. I would say stay away from this one if it's important that it doesn't fall over. The older ones don't fall over. This one falls over a lot more. Well, the other ones probably would fall over here and there, but not as much as this thing. This thing falls over almost every time you're trying to walk forward with this thing. And yeah, it eventually falls over, and every time you turn with this guy, it falls over. I've only been able to successfully get this guy to turn when walking backwards. The Adventure Force Raptor Runner, a radio-controlled dinosaur, available at Walmart. Thanks for watching.